Monetization can completely kill a video game. And in today's video, I want to talk about what's going on in the card game sphere because not one, not two, but 3 different card games online have changed something about their in-game economy or have put out something that just feels ridiculously expensive that isn't available for the typical player. And the big question that's on everybody's mind is how can you justify selling a cosmetic or selling anything over $100 for one freaking pixel thing, like just one item? We're gonna talk about this because it's absolutely mind-boggling how, first of all, Hearthstone put in a gatcha system into their video game, but the response is exactly what you would imagine. No one is really happy about this system being in place. It seems like the only reason why this system was put in place was so that way Blizzard could squeeze out as much money as possible, either from people not knowing how the system works or people that are just like, screw it, I guess I'll put in all of the money in order to get this cosmetic because I really want it. And today we're going to talk about what happens when there are no more whales to squeeze revenue from. What if this is a change that is legitimately going to make some people never buy another Hearthstone item because they've just been priced out? It's just way too expensive. And we're not even really complaining about how expensive this item is. It's just the constant, we've listened to your feedback, we're gonna make changes, and then they put out something else that is going to make players obviously really mad, and then the cycle continues. We're in this moment right now where game boards and other content has been sacrificed for these pets to be added into the game. They were like, hey guys, don't worry, we're gonna give you guys some pets in order to make up for the fact that new game boards have been taken away. We no longer make a game board every single expansion, only happens once a year now. We're gonna give you pets. And then they go and they just make it $158, and it actually turns out it's not even $158. It's actually $160 because you can't buy runestones at a lower increment than 500. So if you want to get this item, you essentially have to spend $160 on it. But if you haven't been paying attention to Hearthstone, let me tell you what exactly is happening here. And this is all very well explained in Zeddy's video, Blizzard Reveals Pets. The first one is King Crush, and it costs $158. What you are seeing right here is the gacha system that Hearthstone has essentially put into the game, to where you have this mode where you can open a chest, your very first time is free, and then every other chest that you want to open is going to cost you runestones. The worst part about this system is that every single time that you purchase something, that you purchase one of these chests or these treasures with runestones, the value of the chest or the treasure is going to increase dramatically. It goes from like 2 to 4 to like 8 to like 12. It's a really weird system, and at the end of the day, if you want to buy all of the chests that are available, all 9 chests, because they give you the first one for free, oh so generous, then you have to spend essentially $160 in order to get every single one of these items that is on this list. You have very simple things from a golden card pack to a card back to a diamond legendary. This is all very nice. But then you look at the bottom of the list, you have King Crush, which is the cosmetic, the pet cosmetic that they spent so much time hyping up. Remember, we killed boards for this. And now the only way that you can get it is by rolling a literal 1 in 1,000. And the way that this is going to work is that, yeah, if you use your free item and you get, let's say, the card pack, because it's very likely for you to get it, now on the other 9 chests or treasures that you have, you are guaranteed to get not the card back. You are guaranteed to get an item that you have not received before. But the weight of that item still absolutely is going to be there, to where you need to roll like a 1 in 15, a 1 in 26, a 1 in 51, and that's after you have already bought 7 or 8 of these freaking boxes. The only way that you can really get King Crush in a actual way, in a feasible way, is by getting all the items, buying all the chests, and it's just literally everything that is wrong with the gacha mechanics, and they literally have added this into the game. And the funniest thing about this is that now Hearthstone is going to have an issue of, oh hey, by the way, if you're below 18, we literally cannot sell this to you. And who knows what kind of laws are happening in EU right now that might get in the way of people in the EU from even getting a chance to buy this, because they are not happy about loot boxes. They're not happy about these gacha, gamba mechanics that are put into video games only put in to squeeze out as much revenue or to confuse players into making a purchase that they are going to regret. And that's the biggest issue that I have with a system like this, is that it's not even about the cosmetic being free. It's about the sentiment that this sets and how we keep going through this process of they release a new item or they release a new game mode. The free-to-play economy is worse than in the new game, or in this case, it is literally impossible for players to get the item that you were hyping up for so long. And now we have, oh, hey, by the way, give us your feedback. You know, if you feel like you can't get the King Plush, the King Crush, go ahead and give us your feedback. We're gonna listen to everybody. That's not the problem. You knew from the very beginning what the problem was. You created this problem. The monetization team, whoever is in charge of these decisions to make these price points, they are the ones that are at fault, and they are the absolute idiots that are ruining the reputation of the game, because how many of these bundles are you gonna come out with to where the Reddit is literally going to be like, guys, we need to boycott, guys, don't buy it. I feel like there's actually a very legitimate chance now that people will not buy things because it's $160, dude. I can literally pay for almost 3 bills with that amount of money. My phone, okay, maybe not my electric bill, but dude, the point is, there is infinitely better things that you can do with your money than spending $160 on this freaking thing. It's just not worth it at the end of the day. And there was a take that I really want to go over here, where there are a lot of people that are saying that they're not finding problems with it just being a cosmetic. It's everything to do with the business practices that come with this. It's like Blizzard is intentionally making everything surrounding this confusing for normal players. So it's not even about the cosmetic. It's not even about, you know, hey, I have to spend money to get this cosmetic. It's the system that's in place to get the cosmetic with FOMO and shady business practices. And this just isn't a system I want to be part of. I cannot sit here as a content creator and recommend you to get these pets. I cannot. I would not do it myself. I'm not even going to do it to write it off on my taxes. And if I end up getting this thing for free for Blizzard, I'm going to be like, hey guys, this is cool and all, but don't spend your money on this. And that's the big problem. I can't even hype this up. So what is Blizzard even thinking about releasing things in this state to where you have to justify, and then when you show people the numbers, you're like, oh, by the way, yeah, that's how it is. How do you justify something like this? It's absolutely ridiculous. And to continue on in this fashion, Marvel Snap. This is the vibes that people are getting right now, and it's absolutely ridiculous how this is all happening within the same week. So if you're not aware with what's going on in Marvel Snap, I would highly recommend checking out Regis Kilbin's video about it. Dexter made a video about it. Almost every single Marvel Snap creator has talked about this. But essentially what's going on is that Second Dinner, they essentially doubled down on their statement, being like, oh, by the way, this system is fine. And if you want to know the system, very, very shortly and very, very simply, it is you have a currency that you can earn within the game, that you have to play the game in order to get that currency. And there's only so much of that currency that you can get, and guess what? You can also buy that currency with real money, but as it turns out, the in-game currency that you're able to earn in the actual game is not enough to get the card, so you legitimately have to spend money on Kid Omega if you actually want to get it, and everybody is not happy about this because they were promised an event. They are given essentially a FOMO period to where this card is locked behind a game mode, and you have to play that game mode to get that currency to unlock the card. Maybe there's some things that I'm missing here, but that's generally the rundown of it, is that people can't get this for free. They are now doubling down saying, yeah, we want you to spend your money. We don't want you to do anything. And this is just the best tweet in order to put it all together. We're going to pay you 2,500 volts to tell you to fuck off. Like, it's completely ridiculous how there is this lack of accountability, or this lack of just foresight, I guess. Like, how can you not imagine your players are going to react this way? You are actively saying one thing, and then you are promoting something else under the guise of, hey, you have to spend money on it, and if you're not going to spend money on it, then your opinion literally means nothing to us. That is the big problem here. And it's like, right here. This hurts my soul. Some people are grinding like crazy to get Kid Omega under the assumption that the final track prize is 25,000 volts. These decisions are being made very, very intently and very purposefully in order to confuse the player that is playing it, in order to, hey, you can maybe spend a little bit of money. It's not that much, and now that you're already like halfway there to getting the freaking item, now you kind of feel committed to doing that. It is a completely and shitty business practice that we have to accept on multiple fronts within the gaming industry. And just to give another example, this is just, I don't know what's going on in Shadowverse. I just really wanted a quick rundown. But essentially, the player economy in Shadowverse is being taken away to where packs used to cost 100 gold. Now they're being sold for 500 gold, and the econ of the game is definitely not giving you 5 times the amount of gold that it used to. Apparently, there's also an issue with liquefying cards, like, you know, getting value from them and selling them and stuff like that. You need 4 cards for in order to get whatever reward, and they nerfed how much, you know, resource you get. What is going on in the card game sphere right now? Why does it seem like all of these companies literally have their hands on the udder of the cow and they're pulling off the udders? They're not even milking us at this point. They're just completely seeing what they can get away with. And I am just so sick of having to deal with this, and then also being like, oh yeah, this is normal. We're just gonna have to deal with it. We're gonna have to give our feedback at this point. At this point, what's even the point of giving feedback if they already know what they're doing is wrong? We're just essentially feeding into the cycle and feeding into the problem itself. What else can I say? What else is there to say? They release new content. Economy gets worse. It's not available for the normal player. It's only available for the whales. We've listened to your feedback, and then they go again to focus on maximizing profits at the expense of the normal player. And it's just really, really annoying to sit here and to see the ship being turned in this direction. And I am screaming at the top of my lungs, please don't do it, Blizzard. Please don't continue to do this. And yet, time and time again, it just keeps becoming a problem. And the worst part about this is that I legitimately have no idea what to do in this circumstance. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm gonna actively tell you guys not to buy it, and hopefully this is going to do something to hopefully let Blizzard know that we don't want this, but they're aware of what they're doing at this point. It's like, I really don't know what else to say other than I am tired of this. And I just made a video about this 5 days ago. There are so many creators that are sitting in front of the camera being like, bro, I like this game. I love this game. I want to keep making content for this game, but company, you're making it very difficult for me to justify keep talking about this game because there is just so much just honest to God manipulation that's happening, not only in video games, but just specifically in the card game space. It's scummy, it's ridiculous, and I just don't know what else to do other than to make a video and hopefully be like, yo, stop. Maybe they'll listen. There's just nothing else I can really do except for giving my opinion in the super secret Discord like I have been. So that's pretty much the end of this video. I just really wanted to rant about monetization in video games because Mario Kart costing $80, the Nintendo Switch forcing you to buy all of this stuff, everything that's happening in the card game sphere. It really feels like the only people that are winning right now are indie games and free-to-play games that every now and again can get money from like skins for like $15, $20, but these games that are charging like $60, $100 for cosmetics, this really needs to end. So yeah, I'm not happy. I feel like a lot of gamers aren't happy. I know that inflation is rough right now, but it's not this fucking ridiculous. So hopefully something changes. Thank you for dealing with my rants. And Hearthstone card games, you can do better. Stop trying to enact FOMO to squeeze every single fucking penny you can out of people. While editing this video, I realized there was one more thing that I can talk about in order to really sell you guys on just how impossible these odds are, because Hearthstone actually put out a Darkmoon Faire treasure simulator, and I want you guys to guess how many full sets I had to go through before King Crush was not the very last item. It took 17 attempts. 17 attempts of essentially spending $158, theoretically speaking, on getting this freaking cosmetic. Here's the footage. I mean, it's just really sad how this is the future of getting Hearthstone cosmetics, and you could just literally see for yourself if you are going to be the chosen one. Apparently, there actually are some people that have hit this high roll. So if you want to feel like you're the main character of the game, it is theoretically possible, but I mean, luckiest shit I've ever pulled, and it's on a fake game. Like, it's just really, really sad how this is the state of Hearthstone. So yeah, instead of actually buying the cosmetic, I would highly recommend that you guys just go in and just try it yourself. See how many attempts does it take for you to finally get the King Crush without it being the very last out. Because this is just a great visual example. Like right here, for example, it's not a 50-50 out, guys, in order to get this. It's a 6% versus a 93%. So you're always going to roll the 93%, and now you can finally get it for $158. So yeah, this needs to change. This needs to be something that we stop putting in not just Hearthstone, but in video games in general. We need to stop manipulating audiences, and we just need to sell items for what they're worth. I realize that the higher-ups are not going to be happy about losing revenue, but gaining more revenue at the expense of literally losing players and potentially killing your game in the public eye is not something that is worth doing.